If you want all the details to Fernando Mendoza, here's a prospect breakdown. First and foremost, we all know him as now not just your Heisman winner, but a national champion for the Indiana Hoosiers. He has solid size at 6'5", 225 pounds, and he had an incredible season. 41 touchdowns and just 6 interceptions. His yards per game, 223, and rushing yards, 224 with 5 TDs. A phenomenal season, and particularly those rushing yards really picked up towards the second half of the season. But let's break down that game into strengths and weaknesses, starting with the strengths. He has a big live arm. This guy can make every throw from every spot in the field, from hash to hash, all the way down to the deep third of the field, intermediate, and he has a rocket arm to feather in between these tight windows. Which brings me to him being on time and on target. This isn't someone who looks lost. He doesn't constantly improvise, and that is kind of why I like him better than some prospects in the past. I know that can be boring, but sometimes we like boring. And I wouldn't say he's completely boring because he is huge. Again, I gave you his size. That shows on tape. And especially when he's running the football. We saw the national championship on that 4th down play where this guy single-handedly moved the change. It reminded me a lot of Josh Allen. Not that quite powerful of a runner, but he has good straight line mobility, a la Justin Herbert. Now, for weaknesses, he doesn't have a whole lot of glaring ones. The big one is he's not going to be creative. Whereas someone like Cam Ward, or we always talk about cloning Patrick Mahomes with someone like Caleb Williams, he's not going to give you these highlight off the platform throws. He can't make it from every position, albeit any spot on the field, and he's not that great on the run. So basically, we're going to have a pure pocket passer, and those hips are stiff, so he's not going to be juking anyone with any lateral quickness across the middle of the field or anything like that. And I will suspect that this mobility that we have gotten isn't something that's going to last long term and be a part of his game. In the future in the NFL, he's probably going to be a strict pocket passer before it's all said and done. Now, those first 5 years when he could still move around, yeah, I could see it. But even that footwork within the pocket, you don't have like a high level athlete that you would out of someone like Jagger May, who is still very mobile despite being a good pocket passer. Overall, Mendoza very much worth a top 5 pick in the draft, not just because he's a quarterback. He does everything that you want him to do, both on the field and off the field. He's very, very vanilla and boring off the field, and that's what you want. You want a guy who's just into football, God and his family, and he's not going to be doing any crazy stuff, because as we've seen from previous prospects like Jagger Sanders, that just doesn't tank your draft stock, but it keeps you from getting on the field even if you're drafted late. And even coming from that same draft class, I have him slightly ahead of Cam Ward just because he has the size, strength, that huge arm, and he's always on time and on target. He's got a ceiling of what I would say is Justin Herbert, and this floor is maybe a larger Daniel Jones, where he might not light it up all the time, but in a good system, he delivers an accurate football and has enough mobility to do some things in the RPO game on the ground. Overall, an exciting prospect. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. We're going to continue to have a lot of these breakdowns for you. And make sure to go over to dynastynerds.com, sign up for the Nerd Herd so you can look at this film yourself and maybe come up with your own breakdowns. My name's Jagger May. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.